Cary-Hiroyuki Tagawa, born on September 27, 1950, in Tokyo, Japan, and departing this world on December 4, 2025, was far more than the villains he so powerfully portrayed. Though best remembered by millions as the sinister sorcerer Shang Tsung from a Mortal Kombat franchise, Tagawa's life unfolded as a story of cultural bridges, disciplined artistry, deep personal transformation, and unwavering dedication to his craft. A Japanese-born American and later Russian citizen, Tagawa carved out a legacy that stretched across continents, genres, and generations of storytelling. From ancient emperors to ruthless crime lords, from mystical warriors to troubled mentors, Tagawa's screen presence carried a gravity few could rival. Yet behind the commanding gaze and thunderous voice was a man of rich heritage, spiritual searching, and quiet devotion to family. At the time of his passing, Tagawa's estimated net worth stood at $20 million, a reflection not just of financial success, but of a lifetime spent steadily building a career rooted in consistency, versatility, and respect. A childhood shaped by two worlds. Cary-Hiroyuki Tagawa was born into a life already shaped by movement and cultural blending. His mother, Mariko Hata, was a respected actress with Japan's famed Takarazuka Revue, a theatrical institution known for discipline and elegance. His father, a Japanese-American serviceman with the United States Army, introduced Tagawa to the rhythm of military life. Because of his father's service, young Cary spent his formative years moving between Fort Bragg in North Carolina, Fort Polk in Louisiana, and Fort Hood in Texas. Each new location added another layer to his identity, teaching him adaptability at a tender age. English and Japanese naturally became his first languages, and over time, he also gained familiarity with Russian, Korean, and Spanish, a quiet testament to his love for global culture. Eventually, the family settled in Southern California, where fate gently nudged Tagawa toward performance. While attending Duarte High School, he discovered acting. What began as curiosity soon transformed into calling. He carried that passion to the University of Southern California, further refining his understanding of performance and storytelling. His journey also took him back to Japan as an exchange student, where he studied kendo and Shotokan karate under the legendary Masatoshi Nakayama at the Japan Karate Association. These disciplines didn't just shape his body, they sculpted his spirit, instilling a warrior's calm and focus that later became unmistakable in his film roles. The breakthrough that changed everything. After years of refining his craft and enduring the quiet struggles of an aspiring actor, Tagawa's breakthrough arrived in 1987 with The Last Emperor. Cast as the haunting eunuch Chang, he delivered a performance that instantly separated him from the crowd. The role carried both subtle menace and emotional complexity, making Hollywood take notice. 2 years later, in 1989, he stepped onto the world stage through the James Bond universe in License to Kill, portraying an undercover agent of the Hong Kong Narcotics Board. Sharing the screen in such an iconic franchise cemented his place as a formidable talent. By 1991, audiences saw him unleash full intensity as Yoshida, the ruthless Yakuza boss in Showdown in Little Tokyo, opposite Dolph Lundgren and Brandon Lee. That same year, he once again embodied martial authority in The Perfect Weapon, standing alongside James Hong, Mako Iwamatsu, and Jeff Speakman. Then came Rising Sun, 1993, where Tagawa portrayed the troubled heir of a Japanese industrial empire. Acting opposite Sean Connery and Wesley Snipes, he delivered a performance layered with tension, dignity, and quiet tragedy. Becoming an icon through Mortal Kombat. In 1995, fate handed Tagawa the role that would immortalize him forever, Shang Tsung in Mortal Kombat. His chilling laugh, shape-shifting menace, and supernatural swagger made the sorcerer unforgettable. For many fans, Tagawa was Shang Tsung, the definitive embodiment of gaming villainy brought to life. Nearly 2 decades later, the magic returned. In 2013, he reprised the role in the web series Mortal Kombat Legacy, and again in 2019 for the video game Mortal Kombat 11, thrilling longtime fans who welcomed the return of the original Master of Souls. A career of unforgettable villains and powerful leaders. Tagawa's filmography reads like a grand mosaic of strength and danger. He stunned audiences in The Phantom, 1996, as the fearsome pirate leader Kabai Sang. In Snow Falling on Cedars, 1999, he brought quiet authority and emotional depth to a racially charged narrative. He appeared in Pearl Harbor, 2001, and Planet of the Apes the same year, later reflecting deeply on the cultural representation of Asians in Hollywood through his participation in the documentary The Slanted Screen, 2006. In Memoirs of a Geisha, 2005, he stepped into a world of beauty and ambition. In Tekken, 2009 and Tekken 2, 2014, he portrayed Heihachi Mishima, extending his legacy into another legendary franchise. Through animation, he lent his voice to Brushigun in Teen Titans, Trouble in Tokyo. One of his most critically acclaimed television roles arrived in 2015 with Nobusuke Tagomi in Amazon's The Man in the High Castle. As Trade Minister of the Pacific States of America, Tagawa delivered a breathtaking portrayal of moral conflict, political power, and spiritual anguish. The role redefined his career for a new generation and proved that his best work still lay ahead. Faith, identity, and spiritual awakening. In a deeply personal chapter of his life, Tagawa converted to Eastern Orthodoxy in 2015, an act that reflected years of inner searching and spiritual reflection. 1 year later, in 2016, he officially became a Russian citizen, not merely as a legal change, but as an extension of his evolving identity and belief system. These decisions surprised many, but revealed a man unafraid to reinvent himself at any stage of life, guided not by fame, but by spiritual truth. Love, marriage, and a life away from the spotlight. Long before Hollywood truly embraced him, Tagawa found love in Sally Phillips, an artist from San Diego. Introduced in 1984 by a mutual friend, Tagawa later described her as the first woman he could truly meet eye to eye. Their connection wasn't built on celebrity, it was rooted in mutual respect, struggle, and shared dreams. They married in 1984 and began a family that would become Tagawa's emotional anchor for nearly 3 decades. Together they welcomed 3 children, Kaylin, Bryn, and Kana. Choosing peace over publicity, the family settled in Kauai, Hawaii, far from Hollywood's relentless glare. Despite Tagawa's rising fame, his home life remained profoundly private. He rarely spoke of his children in interviews, guarding their normalcy with quiet devotion. After almost 30 years of marriage, Tagawa and Phillips divorced in 2014. The separation was handled with deep privacy and grace. Phillips later returned to San Diego, where she reportedly taught at an art institute, continuing her own creative journey far from the public eye. Final curtain call. In the quiet early hours of December 4, 2025, Cary-Hiroyuki Tagawa passed away peacefully at his home in Santa Barbara, California, after suffering complications from a stroke. He was 75 years old. In his final moments, he was not surrounded by cameras or applause, but by the loving presence of his children. His passing sent a wave of grief through fans worldwide. Tributes poured in from fellow actors, martial artists, filmmakers, gamers, and fans who had grown up watching him command the screen. A legacy that will never fade. Cary-Hiroyuki Tagawa leaves behind far more than a collection of famous villains. He leaves behind a legacy of representation, discipline, resilience, and quiet humanity. He was a bridge between East and West, between tradition and innovation, between darkness on screen and light in personal life. To fans, he will forever be Shang Tsung, the soul-stealing sorcerer whose laugh echoed across gaming history. To critics, he was a powerful dramatic actor who brought dignity and intensity to every role. To his children, he was simply Dad, present, protective, and deeply loving. His story reminds us that even those cast as villains can live lives full of meaning, reflection, and grace. And though his physical presence may have faded, the spirit of Cary-Hiroyuki Tagawa will continue to roam the worlds he once ruled on screen, immortal, unforgettable, and eternally powerful.